Hello all and welcome, and I'm the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to talk about an article I saw by a woman who is asking, seriously, why can't I find a decent man? Now I don't understand this. I thought women were supposed to be as smart as men, smarter than men, they were all independent. If they're so independent, why are they always having to ask other people questions about why their life sucks? I mean, if they're so friggin' intelligent, why can't they figure these things out for themselves? I mean, you always hear women asking these questions again and again and again. Why can't I find a decent man? What's the problem? Can somebody tell me? Well, you're so freaking smart. You answer your own question, for goddamn sake. I mean, really, do you hear men asking these questions? Oh, why can't I find a good woman? Geez, I'm in such turmoil. Can somebody answer this question for me? You don't see me doing this. That's because we can find the answer. We already figured the answer out. And by the way, that's why we're MGTOW and going the wrong way. But this chick can't figure out anything. I don't even know if this is the chick or not. I mean, this picture could be a stock photo. I don't know who the hell this is. I mean, first of all, she's got a nose job. Those gigantic Jackie O sunglasses. I mean, who wears sunglasses like that in the first place? I hate those fucking things. Look how big they are. They're beyond Coke bottle. Those are like saucers, like on a fucking table or something. What's the size? It's covering like half her face. I mean, every time I see a woman that wears those gigantic sunglasses, she thinks they're fashionable. I see them, I'm like, what does she look like? She's got to be a hideous troll to be wearing them big fucking things. Jesus Christ. Ladies, word of advice. I don't think this is the broad who wrote this. But whether it is or not, do not wear these big, gigantic Jackie O, Olivia Taylor fucking sunglasses. They're hideous. They look horrible. And it makes the man essentially assume you got to be ugly under them because it's almost like wearing a bag over your face. They're so fucking big. So anyway, this is what I don't get. They're asking all these questions. I can't find a man. I can't find a man. And of course, she's pleading with the audience. Somebody please tell me. And using her experience of not being able to find a man as an opportunity to write a crappy article about why she can't find a man. Asking why she can't find a man. Okay, so let's begin. I know there are some amazing guys out there. You know. Well, apparently you can't find them. She knows. It's like Bigfoot. That's like Bigfoot believers. I know Bigfoot exists. I've never seen him, but I know because I've seen some footprints. Yeah, so I've seen evidence because I've seen him with other women, or I saw something that a decent or an amazing guy did. He must have been decent and amazing because only a decent or amazing guy could have done something like this. So there must be decent, amazing guys out there, but I can't seem to find them. Plenty of my friends have found them. See, I just said. I just said I can read this bitch's mind, and I haven't even read the story yet. But I'm still looking for one to call my own. You're still looking, huh? Well, how is it that your friends found them, but you can't? And by the way, how do you know the guys that your friends are dating or married to are decent? You don't know that. They're decent in your eyes. Maybe they found a cuck simp moron, just like what you're looking for. Which is probably exactly what she hopes to find, but once she got him, she would complain, oh, he's just not a real man. He's too accommodating. Women will always find something wrong with a guy, which apparently is the case because she can't seem to find somebody who suits her. I put myself out there. I'd love to hear how you do that, by the way. Of course, she's not going to get in any details that I could pick apart. And consider myself to be a... Oh, boy, there we go. She considers herself to be a catch. Well, could I ask you why? Why do you consider... Oh, and she's going to tell us, too. Ah, shit. I shouldn't have asked. Look at all these numbers. And there are a lot of them. But for some reason, all I keep coming across are losers. Okay, now, what does that mean exactly? First of all, it would be very important if I could be told by her what she considers a winner. I mean, because I think this has to do with her standards. Okay, because what she considers a loser, I might consider a winner. Okay, so really, without telling us what a winner is, I can't validate or invalidate her standards and say whether or not her standards are too high or they're realistic. But of course, she's not going to tell us what her standards are. Oh no, because we could pick that apart easy. Why the hell can't I find a decent guy? Well, what do you consider a decent guy, honey? Could you tell me that? If you could tell me what you consider a decent guy, I could tell you why you're not finding anybody. But I bet I'm going to find some hints in this list of things that she thinks is so great about her. Let's begin with number 1, shall we? I've let go of my type, and I'm open to anything. Okay, that already doesn't make sense because you can't find somebody. And you just said all the guys you came across are losers. So if you're open to anything, wouldn't you be open to losers as well? Apparently not. You would lower your standards. I used to be stupidly picky, but you're not now, and you still can't find somebody. Could it be that you haven't lowered your standards enough? And I had a list a mile long, and it's only a half mile long now, of what kind of guy I would and wouldn't date. Strangely enough, I always had a boyfriend back then. Yeah, because you were younger. You're getting old, honey. If you're at least marginally good looking and you're younger, yeah, you're going to have a boyfriend. But now you don't. And of course, being a woman, you don't see this because you've hit the wall and now you don't have a boyfriend because they're not willing to put up with your crap. Just because you're a hot chick, you're semi-hot. Because now you're old and you're post-wall. That's why you don't have a boyfriend now, dummy. The problem was that my list had nothing to do with what really mattered. Right, so... so I don't see how she doesn't figure out that the reason she had boyfriends back then and doesn't have boyfriends now is because she's past her prime. And she's now damaged goods, used goods. She's past her expiration date. I don't know why she's associated. I don't get it. I'm already having difficulty following this woman's reasoning. You know, I mean, if you're open to anything, wouldn't you be with a loser? I don't get it. I mean, shouldn't you be desperate right now? So I chose guys who were totally wrong for me. This was when you had more standards. What? I don't get it. Wait. So when you had more standards, you chose guys that were wrong for you, and now you don't choose any, even though you say you're less picky. I think my priorities are better now, but I look around and there are no viable options anywhere. What? What does that mean, viable options? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that means, viable. And then you can have no common language with a woman because they just use these big blanket statements that they think have some kind of specific meaning. But in my mind, I don't know what the fuck a viable option is. What do you consider viable, honey? How much money does he have to make? What are your... That goes to your pickiness, okay? Your standards. And I don't know what your standards are. So you haven't given me enough information. But clearly, just in the fact that you can't find a man, you're already having unrealistic standards because look, we're all over the place. We're everywhere. Men are very easy to find. It's very easy for a woman to find a guy. It's so easy. If you're a woman and you can't find a guy, you are probably the loser. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about by viable options. What she probably means is a guy that fits my high standards that I say I let go of for the most part, but I really didn't. I see. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Next. Number 2. I am friendly and approachable. You're friendly and approachable, huh? And yet guys are not approaching you. Obviously not. You're not that approachable then. It's not like I'm conceited or stuck up. There's just no viable options out there because I'm so great and wonderful, but I'm not stuck up. I don't treat guys like crap just because they don't look it or act a certain way. I'm pretty nice to everyone. Sure you are, I'm sure. You'd think that being so down to earth would mean more guys would approach me, but maybe they just don't see me as enough of a challenge. I really don't know. How old are you? How tall are you? How much do you weigh? I'm going to guess over 40, maybe 5'5", 5'6", but like 150 pounds or something. I guess that's the average, it seems. So she's carrying at least 30, 40 extra pounds. And she's post-wall, and she's wondering why men won't approach her. Yeah. You know, you had boyfriends when you were younger and thinner and hotter, but you don't have any now, and you don't know why. There's a perfect example of how lacking women are in self-awareness, and they have no idea how men think. All women have ascribed to this stupid feminist narrative that men and women are somehow the same, we're all equal, so whatever a woman thinks, whatever a woman wants is what a man thinks and what a man wants. So if this is the reason that a woman would turn a guy down, well, a guy that would turn a woman down, he's got the same reasons. No. You're creating a lot of false equivalencies here, honey. Men and women are not the same. Not at all. You need to learn a little something about men. Number 3. It's not like I'm gross. Oh, boy. Nah. Maybe it is like that. Okay? Maybe you are gross. Did they just stop and think about that? That maybe you are gross? Sure, I'm not the hottest girl in the world, at least in a traditional sense, but I'm not chopped liver. Yeah. I don't know, honey. And by the way, with Western women being more and more bitchy, less and less men want to deal with your crap. So unless you're like a fucking 8 to 10, guys generally aren't going to want to deal with your ass. So, unless you bring a lot to the motherfucking table, you can be super great. You can think that you're the exception to the rule, but we're not going to want to have to deal with your shit. We're not even going to take the effort to approach you. Not worth it. I take care of my health. I eat well, and I'm in shape. I bathe and groom and brush my teeth. Oh, wow. You're a real catch. You brush your teeth. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. And by the way, I don't want a lady with dragon breath. Of course not. But if that's the only things you bring to the table, being that you bathe and groom and brush your teeth, yeah, that's not much. That good stuff. Some people might even call me attractive. Oh, boy. She's got no self-confidence, very little self-esteem. Or maybe she has a lot and she's trying to be humble. Hard to say at this point. Despite all that, I can't get guys to give me the time of day. What the fuck? Oh, no. She must be a fat old slob then. I'd love to see her picture. And I'm going to look up her picture before I'm done here. And I'm going to post it. And then we'll get to see for ourselves how old she is and what she looks like. I'll search and post it at the end of this. Number 4. Wait a second. Number 4. I try not to judge others unfairly. Yes, I try not to judge others unfairly. I know how it is to be ignored for not having a certain image, so I try not to pass those judgments on guys. Well, they don't want to get near you to find out. You must be big, fat, and hideous. Looks aren't everything. Well, you know who says that? Ugly women. You know who says looks aren't everything? Women who are ugly or homely and fat. Though I have to be attracted to a guy in some way, yeah, I'm sure what attracts you is money, okay? I mean, honestly, if I were her, I wouldn't be picky. Well, there's a woman who's essentially desperate enough to write an article like this as a form of, desperate attempt to find a man, and yet she's picky, obviously. They're not viable options. They're all losers. What are you talking about? You don't judge me. We got to go back. Hold on a second. This is too funny. So she just said that she doesn't judge guys unfairly and tries not to, yet why do I keep coming across all these losers? It's right here. I come across all these losers. They're losers. And what's this one? I look around. There's no viable options. Sounds pretty judgmental to me, honey. I tell you what, this is typical of women. They say one thing and do another, and they're not even aware of it. Looks aren't everything. You know, have to be attracted to the guy in some way. He can be the hottest guy in the world, and it won't matter if I'm not feeling it. Yeah, she's fat and homely, no question about that. Yeah. On the other hand, if I'm feeling it, he doesn't have to be traditionally good-looking. Yeah, she considers herself an intellectual, so she's homely, so she got herself a good education, I'm sure. Number 5, it doesn't take much to pick my interest. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I have a pretty good idea of what I want at this point, which is good. No, that's not good. No, that's bad. That's very bad because you're old. So you've had a lot of years to develop this long list, which you say used to be very long, but you now ticked off some things. No, I don't need those anymore, which were probably a very few things, okay? Like he has to be a certain height, and he has to make a certain amount of money. You might have ticked those off, but I bet you he still has to make a certain amount of money to get you interested. And he has to look a certain way, okay? Yeah. The problem is that I don't meet a lot of men who exhibit the tendencies I'm seeking. That's what I just said. She supposedly has ticked this list down to almost nothing. But obviously not. Obviously, the list was ridiculously long to the point where it would be 6 feet long if we put it on paper. And now she might have whittled it down to 5 or 4 feet, and she still thinks that is reasonable, when she ought to just throw the whole fucking list out. But of course she can't do that because she's had all these years of dating and banging around, riding the cock carousel, and now she thinks this is somehow a good thing that she has all this experience and she knows what she wants. No, that's bad, honey. That's very bad. You thinking you know what you want and knowing what is good for you are two different things. And women want all these different things. I want to be able to eat 2 gallons of motherfucking ice cream a day and not get fat. That's my biggest want. Is it going to be reality? Is that what's best for me? No. Women rarely know what's best for them. They're very lacking in self-awareness. You need to approach each person individually and judge them individually and get to know them and try to establish some kind of communication and not go in with a fucking list of things you want. Because what you want is often not what you need, ya dummy you. I don't mean allow me to exhibit the tendencies I'm seeking. Why are you seeking anything? Tendencies you're seeking. Let me tell you something, honey. You know what the kind of relationship that works best is the kind where you're with somebody that's like you. That's it. That's what you should be looking for. If you want to have a successful relationship, and this is almost impossible these days with the gender dynamics that have been set up and gynocentrism and fucking hypergamy and all that shit that allows women to just fucking hopscotch from man to man without consequences, and it actually enriches them to do so. That's part of the problem. But if you want to have a successful relationship, it's almost impossible because of what I just said. But if you do, you have to start out with the groundwork of you two being as alike as possible, because the only real love that exists is self-love. And we love the things in others that represent what we like about ourselves, ya dope. I have to get out and get into different circles, I guess. I'm obviously not in the right ones currently. You're not in the right state of mind, and you're looking for the wrong things, ya dummy you. You're trying to choose what you think will make you happy instead of what would actually make you happy. This shows not only cognitive dissonance on your part, but a total lack of self-awareness, as well as what makes a relationship work. You dope, you. You've been too exposed to feminist, dogmatic crap. I need to find the guys who share my values, beliefs, and interests. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, it's really that simple? Oh, but you said they don't exhibit the right tendencies. Oh, and by the way, you're looking at the wrong things. Interests? No, because you're not going to do anything together anyway. Men don't want to do shit with you, okay? and they don't want to share the same and just go rock climbing and fucking hiking with you and shit. Physical activities, no. Share some of the same values and have some of the same outviews on life. You could call it values. And the reason you can't find these things is because your list, I'm sure, it includes much more than that. Obviously, it does. And also, you're a big fat slob. I can tell that just from reading this. You have the opinions and the viewpoints of a big fat slob. Looks are not that important. That's what ugly people say. Number 6. I go out to places single guys might be. That's the worst place to go. Try the supermarket, honey, and try talking to a guy. You go to places where single guys might be. Let me tell you why single guys are there. They're there to find attractive young women. You are post-wall. I'm guessing you're at least over the age of 40. You're certainly over the age of 30, 35. You've passed your expiration date, honey, and you're carrying junk in the trunk, and you've got a lot of baggage, and you've got this long list of wants, which she hasn't given us, by the way. This is very interesting. She gives us all these great, wonderful character traits that she has, but she doesn't expose herself to any criticism. You ever notice that about women? They say what's great about them, and they don't know why they can't find a man, but they don't tell you what their criteria are. How can I actually... This is how stupid they are. Not only can they not figure out on their own why they can't find a man, but they're too stupid to realize what things they need to tell us, the reader, or us, the person they're asking for advice. They're too stupid to tell us the things that would allow us to figure out why they can't find one. For example, could you tell us the criteria you have? You've been very vague in general, my beliefs and interests and values. Well, first, why don't you share those with us? And by the way, that's not the whole fucking list, of course. There were a bunch of other things that she mentioned that I'm sure point to the fact that there's much more to this list. And I would like to know everything on that list and what exactly she is looking for and why she considers a certain man not viable and a loser. These would be very important criteria, things that she could tell us that would allow us to figure out where she's actually going wrong. Of course, I can deduce, just from what she's saying, what the actual problem is. Goes on to say, and my life priorities have shifted somewhat. I know I need to get out and meet new people who reflect the way I now see the world, so I do put myself out there, but I still can't seem to meet a guy who thinks the way I do. That's because you're a woman, dummy. This is the problem with women. You're not going to find a guy that thinks the way you do. He might share some of the same values. He might value some of the same things. He might have a good work ethic. You have a good work ethic. He might be a disciplined person. You might be a disciplined person. I mean, these are the kind of things you base a relationship on, but not thinking the same way. You might come to the same conclusions about certain issues, but thinking the same way, men don't think like you. You're a woman. You're subjective to the core. Men are generally really objective. This is the problem with egalitarianism and egalitarian feminism. It has made women, and of course this woman is at an age where she's around 35, 40, where she's grown up in a time where there are no real men. Where there are very few real men left. They're all like 80 years old, like fucking Clint Eastwood and shit. Yeah, and Charles Bronson, unfortunately, is dead. There was a real man, too. But all the real men are fucking old or died. They're already dead, buried under the ground. Now we got a bunch of pussies, white knight, mangina, cuck, simp boys who have been raised by single mothers and raised on fucking feminism and raised in schools that have a bias towards girls and raised in, educated in schools that essentially have a bias toward men and teach them that it's better to act like a girl than a boy. And now you get all these fucking boys and young men wanting to become women and cutting their dicks off and then finding out, oh, I made a mistake, and shooting themselves in the fucking head. And you wonder why she doesn't know what a real man is. And she thinks they're all supposed to think like her. Why don't they think like me? Men and women are the same. Oh, gender's just a social construct. You dummy. She goes on to say, I need to find the guys who share my values. Okay, I already read that one. I finished that. So, yeah, ridiculous. Number 6, I go out to places single guys might be. Yeah, right. Okay, so... yeah, that's where we left off. Sorry. I got a little rant there and lost track of where I was because this kind of nonsense really annoys me. I mean, this woman is so detached from reality. She doesn't understand even the smallest iota of what the fucking problem is and why she can't find a man. And this is typical of all women, which is why I like to comment on these pieces that I find that are typical of all women. It gives you guys a very good idea of what you're going to run into when you meet a woman. It's going to be this. Exactly. So she goes on to say, and here's where I left off, I'm trying to get more involved locally in groups that are close to my heart. Maybe that will help. I doubt it. There's an old saying, wherever you go, there you are. Now, I'll explain it to some of you who might not know, but I think it's pretty obvious. Whatever problems you have, whatever issues that might be, you might be having with life, a changing location isn't going to help because you take them with you. Any baggage that you have, it goes with you. So changing locations isn't going to solve your problem. So if you think that joining a new group or anything like that is going to help you, you are wrong. You need to change your mindset. There's something wrong with you, honey, not the world. But of course, women, that's not what they think. They don't think that. They're perfect. There's no problem with them. I'm friendly, approachable. I'm not gross. I don't judge. It doesn't take much to pick my interest. I go out to places single guys go, yada, 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 yada. I'm perfect, and, I don't have any real big problems, and I brush my teeth. I bathe. Yeah, those are big pluses, honey. Ay vey. Number 7. I have a bright and bubbly... oh, boy. Oh, no. Well, now we know she's a fat slob, okay? Whenever a woman says she has a bright and bubbly personality, if you've never seen a picture, you know she's a blob. You know she's homely. You know she's overweight. Bright and bubbly means big and fat. Still, I sometimes wonder if I'm invisible. Oh, I doubt you're invisible, honey. I think you're too big probably to be invisible. This is just my guess. We'll find out at the end of this video. It seems like half the time guys don't even see me. She's a blob. If she was attractive, men would see her. No question. I'm not on their radar. I'm not tall and blonde with long legs and huge boobs. Well, there we go. So now we know why you're not getting men, while earlier you still had boyfriends. Because even a homely chick, she can lather on a lot of makeup and add at least 2 points to her attractiveness scale and the sexual marketplace scale. So she could be a 3 or 4, and she could pass as a 5, maybe. And the 5s can get boyfriends when they're in their 20s, sure. But when they're in their 40s... and they put on 30, 40 pounds? No! So sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough for the L.A. guy. She's in L.A.? Holy shit. Lady, you're not, okay? Yeah, you better be willing to settle for a fucking guy that pumps gas. That's what you're going to get. So here's the guy. Already I can deduce a great deal from what she's now told me. So... guys that are in her range, I'm going to rate her as a 3, even without seeing her, just from what she said, because she's drawn me a picture already. She's drawn me a picture of what kind of woman she is and what she looks like. So, at a 3, she can attract and expect to get a guy that is, A, pumping gas, B, the guy in the convenience store, the cashier in the convenience store, what are their lowly jobs? Attendant, in the movie theater. You know that guy that stands next to the little fucking sign and he takes your ticket and he tears it. What else? I think barista in a coffee shop is too high for her to shoot for. So, window cleaner. Well, no, window cleaners can make pretty good money. The guys that go up the real high or anything, but maybe the guys that just like, you know, it's a day job. They clean the individual windows and like the shop owner gives them like $5. That might be too low. So, okay, so I'll give her this. I think so. The guy that pumps the gas and the guy that is the cashier in the convenience store, I think that's what she can realistically shoot for as a 3 who's homely and not very attractive. That's just my view based on what she said. She goes on to say, I'm not a hipster, and I'd rather go for a hike than hang out at some trendy bar. You would rather go for a hike. Yeah, fat women like to hike, don't they? They think it makes them, you know, fitter and, you know, gives them a little energy, but they only do it on the weekend. It's not like they're doing it every day. If they did it every day, they wouldn't be fat women. Then how to hang out at some trendy bar? I thought you said you went to places where single guys were, but she didn't tell us what places, of course. Perhaps I should move. It won't help, honey, because wherever you go, there you are. And if you go to some other place, San Francisco or Washington, D.C., your fat ass is going to go with you. Number 8. I believe good guys are out there. What does that have to do with anything? How does that somehow make you you know, some kind of a catch for me? What you believe in? What does it have to do with anything? It's aber true that all the great guys I do meet end up being overtaken. That's because they got with women who, when they had at least some marketplace value, like a 5 or more, decided to get married, like at the right age, instead of like you, who prioritize what's probably a pretty crappy career. You're writing for this blog, semi-newspaper, pseudo-media rag, you know, you think was some kind of great substitute for the family you could have and should have had when you were in your mid to late 20s. You made a big mistake, and you don't seem to realize it yet, that you waited too long, Annie. You waited too long. You believe the feminist claptrap that you can have it all. You can have your cake, you can eat it too. I can wait until I'm 40 to get married. Yeah, that's possible. That is impossible. Okay? That's like citing Bigfoot, okay? It might happen, but it's very unlikely, all right? And if it does happen, you're too old to have kids, because your kid's going to come out looking like a troglodyte. Okay? You're going to have a kid with 2 heads. Or you're going to have a kid with that big giant fucking forehead and the eyes are close together. One of them Down syndrome babies, or a retard of some other kind, or a midget or something. Not the most desirable form of child to have, but that's what's going to happen because your eggs are all fucked up. Okay? So that's not a viable option. But of course, you won't be with a man who isn't a viable option, but you won't tell us why he's not a viable option. You won't tell us any of the little things that are on your list that the man must meet before you will consider him not a loser and viable. So I really can't help you in that regard, except that I can automatically tell you that whatever list you do have left is way too long. Still, you have an unrealistic viewpoint of your own sexual marketplace value, and this is typical of women, of course, is that they don't really have a realistic view of how much they are worth on the sexual marketplace. It's almost always 2 or 3 points higher than the reality. I come across dudes who are awesome. Dudes, oy vey. And then I find out that they already have girlfriends or wives. Right, yeah. Because these women who they are with decided to get with men at the right age. You waited too long. Feminism told you could have it all. It lied to you. Maybe that's why they're so nice to me in the first place. Yeah, they wouldn't have anything to do with you if they were single right now, okay? They're going to get with a chick 10, 15 years older because she's fertile. They don't have anything to prove. It still sucks when I find out they're not available. It wouldn't matter. You're too old and fat for them anyway. Don't kid yourself, honey. You kid yourself too fucking much. Number 9. Oh, here we go. Now, wait a second. Wait. She's contradicting herself. This is what I don't understand. These women hold these contrary viewpoints. You know, the contradictions are not allowed in logic, okay? You cannot contradict yourself. All right? It's ridiculous. One cancels out the other. Before, you said that you were open to anything. You said you were open to anything. Now she says, I won't settle for just anyone. She won't settle. And she said that she used to have a very long list, and now it's not that long anymore, and that she doesn't judge men, and that she's open to anything now, but she won't settle for anyone. But you just said before you would. You said you're open to anything. Well, that means anyone. In my mind, anyway. But now you're not. What? Don't you just remember that 4 or 5 of your supposed qualities before this one, you said you were open to anything. Maybe it was 6 or 7. It might have been the first. I don't know. I think it was the first one, in fact, where she says she's open to anything. Now you're not? Uh-huh. I see. The fact that you don't see the inherent contradictions in your own beliefs tells me you're a moron. Okay? You're a moron! Anybody that contradicts themselves to this extent is a fucking moron. The hazard of being nice to everyone is that some people do take it the wrong way, and I've had guys hit on me that really can't take the hint. Wait. What hint, honey? I can tell you're at least 35. You're over 40. I know that. That's post-wall. You only had to be post-wall. And the way you've talked about yourself tells me you're fat and homely. If some guy is hitting on you, you should take the bait immediately. You should be jumping for that guy. I don't care what he does. If he has a job, you should be taking the bait. Who are you to think that you shouldn't have to settle? This is again, more feminism. You should be able to have your cake and eat it too. You're wonderful. You're perfect. You're great even if you're a big fat slob. Because he shouldn't care about what he sees. He should care about what's inside you. The gooey essence inside you that makes you you. Yeah, you're gooey, all right. That's a lie. You've told yourself a lie. You've been told a lie, honey. You are not worth that much. I know you believe you're worth a lot, but you're not worth a lot to a man. It only matters what we believe has value, not what you believe has value, because you want a man. You don't want a woman. Now, actually, it sounds like she does want a woman. Why don't you go lesbo? There's a lot of lesbians out there that like fat or chunky women or homely. They love that shit. They can't take the hint when I make it pretty clear that I'm not interested. And by the way, she's saying right now that the guys hit on her and she doesn't even give him a chance. Not even a chance. She was talking before about looks aren't that important to her. If looks are not that important to her, then wouldn't you engage with and try to get to know as well as possible any guy that hit on you? Because she just said before looks aren't that important to her. But it turns out she lied, and she's lying to herself. Well, of course she is. She's a woman. I'm confident in what I want from a guy relationship. But you just said before, anything goes. Which should be super attractive to men, but it still needs to be the right man. What? Wait. What? What is she talking about here? Oh, I see. She's saying that her being confident in what she wants from a guy in a relationship should be super attractive to men, but it still needs to be the right man. What is the right man? This whole list is meaningless. All she's doing is telling us what her qualities are in her mind, and she's not giving us the things that she values or wants from a man. Clearly, what she wants from a man is unreasonable, or she would have a man. Very simple. She goes on to say, I don't want just anyone, but you should take anyone. I don't understand this. You're a beggar. You're a beggar. You're a big fat slob. You're a beggar. And yet for some reason, I can tell she's a big fat slob. Don't tell me you can't know. I would bet dollars to donuts that she's at least homely and somewhat overweight. We're going to check her picture out. I'm going to search the internet and I'm going to put it at the end of this. So I guarantee it. I don't want just anyone, but you should take anyone. It's like a poor man on the, you know those bums that sit on the sidewalk? Give me change, give me money. They should be happy if I give them a penny. 1 penny, they should be happy. That's like that guy is complaining because I give him a fucking penny. Only a penny? You cheap bastard. Well, motherfucker, please, you're broke. What are you complaining about? I look at it the same way. She's totally busted. And she's expecting people to be handing her $10, $20 bills. What? Get out of here, lady. You're at most worth a fucking penny, and you should be happy to get that. Oh, it continues. This is insane. I'm ready to open up and let my guard down for the right guy. This is hilarious. She has all these different judgments that she does to determine whether a guy is the right guy or not. They'll even get close. And she's admitted that she just turns guys down cold who hit on her. But she said earlier that men won't approach her. But that's not what she means. That's not what she means. You have to see. That's woman logic. That's woman language. I'm gonna translate her words so that you guys can understand. When she says men just won't approach her, what she means is the men she wants won't approach her. Okay? That's what a woman means when she says that. When a woman says, I don't know why guys just aren't approaching me. No. What a woman means when she says that is that the guys she wants to come after her aren't coming after her. It doesn't mean guys aren't approaching her. I'm sure plenty of guys are approaching her, but she just blows them off. Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. Because in her mind, right, they're not the right guy. They'll never be the right guy. That's how women are. And she says she's lowered her standards. You haven't lowered your standards, bitch, or you'd be with a man. Total lack of reasoning and logic and critical thinking skills. I will give most guys at least one chance to truly get to know me. Bullshit! 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 You will not give most guys a chance to get to know you. You just said guys will flirt with you, hit on you, and you just blow them off. You don't even give them a chance to speak to you if you automatically recognize they're not Mr. Right, which you see based on their looks. Because you know this just from them flirting with you. She said that. And she blows them off. Losers. Oh, all these guys, losers. And yeah. Ay, ay, ay. But she's open to anything. Most of them don't even try. I'm going to translate that for you guys. When she says most of them won't even try, she means the ones she wants. Other guys do try, but as she said earlier, they're losers. How will you know if you like me if you have no interest in finding out about me? That's woman speak for how do you guys that I really want know you won't like me unless you approach me? That's what she really means. Maybe all these guys just want to get laid. Sweetheart, let me explain something to your big, fat ass. That is 100% of all men unless they're gay. 100% of all men want to get laid. That is men. And they don't give a shit what you have to say until they have laid you. And then they'll pretend because they want to get laid more. But they don't talk to me long enough. That's because you That's because you blow them off. You just said earlier that essentially let's go back. I got to revisit that. So she says in number 9, has her being nice to everyone is that some people do take it the wrong way, meaning that guys that you're not interested in because they don't fit some kind of arbitrary preconditions approach you. And so you don't give them a chance. And then you are later saying that men don't give you a chance. Isn't that ironic? What's happening to you is what you're doing to men. You dummy. And you wonder why you're single? I don't. I've had guys hit on me. Well, then why don't you, that really can't take a hint? So they hit on you, and you brush them off. You're giving them hints right away that you're not interested. But you're not trying to get to know them because they don't fit the mold of what you want from a man. And now you're saying guys don't approach you. No, that's woman speak for the guys you don't want. Don't approach you. Of course not. You're a cunt. And you're a fat cunt. So when you say you'll give most guys at least one chance, that's a lie. Because you just said earlier, they flirt with me, and I blow them off if they don't fit my preconceived notions of what is the Mr. Right for me. But most of them don't even try. They do try. They're just guys you don't want. How will you know if you like me if you have no interest in finding out about me? Or how will you know you like them if you don't give them a chance? If you don't give them a chance, huh? How will you know if you like them if you don't give them a chance? Oh, well, I'm automatically not interested in them. He's not this or he's not that. He's not tall enough. He's clearly not rich enough. Oh, well, I don't like the way he looks. But you said earlier looks aren't important. So how can you know if a guy is flirting with you so quickly that you don't like him, that he's not Mr. Right, that you brush him off and give him hints to go away? Jesus Christ, this woman is so deluded. She's so lacking in self-awareness. Good Lord. Maybe all these guys just want to get laid, yeah, of course, but they don't talk to me long enough to figure out if I'm down with that. Just like you don't talk to them long enough to figure out if that's all they want, which it is, of course, but that's all men. So what's your problem, lady? You don't like reality? I just want a guy who's genuinely interested in me. Well, you're gonna have to actually entertain the guys who don't fit your pathetic, stupid, arbitrary list before you're gonna find that fucking guy. Is that too much to ask for? Yes, because you're old and you're fat. You're old and you're fat, and not even this too much to ask for, but you're gonna have to lower your standards. You're gonna have to change or lower your standards. And even though she said she was open to that, that's bullshit. That's total bullshit. This woman is not open to lowering her standards at all. She might have ticked off some very small things like, big hands. Oh, yeah, it's okay if he doesn't have big hands. And he doesn't need to have all his hair. Shit like that. But the majority of the meat of her list, I'm sure, is still there. Now, let's find out what this woman looks like, shall we? And here we have the author, Amy Horton. And, she's definitely an older broad, post-war, no question about that. And here we have her again with dark hair, and look at that face. That is a lot of makeup, and you can see a lot of lines. Now, you can't see below the upper chest, so you have no idea if she's got drunk in the trunk, which I'm sure she does. She's not the most unattractive woman I've ever seen, but she's definitely not what I would call attractive. Mediocre at best, trying to be hot, but not. Now, since she's a writer for some kind of online magazine or something, or maybe it's a magazine in the real world, I don't know. I don't keep track of these things anymore. Let's take a look at some of the stories this broad has written recently. This will give you an idea of what kind of woman she is and why she's probably not finding a man. Number 1, 18 reasons most guys bore me to death. Interesting. So she wants to find a guy, but she finds most guys boring. But she's open for anything, and she's not judgmental either. Wouldn't somebody who was non-judgmental not be judging most guys as boring? Number 2, 18 ways my life has improved since I embraced my inner badass. Yeah. How much time do I want to spend with a woman who thinks she's a badass? Not much. Number 3, I'm not upset my ex is getting married. I'm thrilled. So she's actually very bitter and angry. And she's got a lot of baggage. Yeah, she's some catch. Number 4, love is great, but not having to deal with heartbreak is even better. So she is really damaged goods to the point where she essentially sets herself up, I think, subconsciously, so that she doesn't get into a relationship. So I'm gonna hazard a guess as to what's happening here. She's creating a sort of dynamic where she's not gonna find a man. She's created these impossible to meet expectations and created situations that make it impossible for a guy to want to be with her. Her attitude, her way of seeing things, I think it's all subconscious to make her avoid and stay away from relationships because she can't handle getting her feelings hurt again. And this is something where men and women are very, very different, because men, if they're smart and if they're mature and if they've had enough experience with women, eventually reach a point where, I don't fucking care. We don't have damaged goods. We're not generally carrying a lot of baggage. We're not generally damaged goods. If some chick breaks up with us, big fucking deal. If you're a grown man. I mean, some get all fucking weepy-eyed and shit. A bunch of pussies get that way. But a man doesn't give a fuck. Women, of course, thinking that men and women are all the same and we're all equal. If I break up with a man, he's going to get all weepy-eyed too. No. So, yeah, honey, heartbreak, women are not like us. They take this shit hard. Once they've had 1 or 2 failed relationships, they're damaged goods for life. Number 5, I don't believe in good men anymore, and I don't know what to do. Wait. Didn't you just say in this most recent article that you believe good men are out there? This woman, they're all over the place. She's hopping back and forth and back and forth. What, lady, what are you, going through menopause or something? Jesus Christ. Number 6, I'm all about making the first move with guys, but they don't seem to like it. Bullshit. You just said men won't approach you, and you don't approach them. You didn't say you approach them. You made it very clear that men don't approach you, even though they do approach you, but they just don't meet your standards. They're not the men you want. Yeah. How can anybody be clueless, this clueless about why they're single? I mean, this woman is totally clueless. With all that evidence in front of your own eyes, how can you not see it? And there's more. There's more feminist crapola stories. 15 signs you're a badass who takes no crap from guys. Well, honey, if that's the kind of attitude you want to have, it's no wonder you're single. If I go on one more bad date, I'm going to lose it. So she's essentially pretty much burnt out. Yeah, you're really, really a great catch, honey. You're such damaged goods, you can't handle another bad date. I want a modern man with old-fashioned values. Okay, I'm going to translate that from woman speak into man speak. I want a guy who's going to pay my bills and do his traditional roles as a man, and that doesn't require me to do any of my traditional female roles, and he'll also pull out my chairs and carry shit for me and carry my handbag when we're out in public and open doors for me and shit. Next, I don't want a boyfriend, but I want the benefits of having one. Well, that's pretty easy, you dumb bitch, because all you have a boyfriend for is to fuck. Well, how can he be a boy? This is so stupid. What benefits? I don't even get that one. Next. Oh, I see. You want to be able to bang around and ride the cock carousel more, even though you're an old broad who's, not only, I think she's over 40. She looked like she was over 40 to me, or damn near. Next, guys loved me when I had no self-esteem. Now that I'm confident, not so much. So let me translate that for you. When I felt like I was just meh, guys liked me. Yeah, because you didn't run your fucking mouth. and you were younger. It has nothing to, by the way, honey, you are conflating things and you're confusing things. No, 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 no. Guys liked you when you were younger because you were hotter, okay? That was it. By the way, when she means confident, she means more mouthy. Because now that she has more confidence, she talks a lot more now and she's more pushy and quote unquote badass. Yet that's not a turn on either, honey. And the fact that you're older, that's also not a turn on. Why can't I find a good guy who isn't intimidated by me? This is always the throwback position for a woman. If a guy's not interested, it's because she's now so much older and more confident. She has so much more self-confidence and so much more self-esteem. So that must be the reason. And then there's no evidence of that. You're just seeing one thing and you're deciding, oh, I have effect. Well, what's different about me now? I'm more confident. Oh, it must be that. No, you're not looking at other changes. There are other changes. Your tits are saggy. Your ass is bigger. You got a lot of lines. You're not fertile anymore. Oh, no, it can't be those because those would be my fault and those can't be fixed and I can't face that reality. So I'm just going to say it's guys who are being intimidated by me because I can't deal with reality. I've gotten blown off by men so much lately that I'm literally questioning everything. Yeah, because you thought you were all that in a bag of fucking chips, but you're getting blown off. When did common decency in dating become extinct? I'll tell you when it became extinct, honey. When you started becoming so fucking picky and then turn around and tell everybody else that you're not picky or judgmental or that you're open for everything or anything. When you're not open to anything or everything, just the guys who fit your very select specific list, which you supposedly threw out the window. But now we find out you did not. I quit dating apps because they were literally ruining my life. 15 reasons why I really need to be single right now. Oy vey. So,